Welcome back to the 𝙒𝙤𝙘𝙢𝙚 Life, where reinvention meets freedom. I am your host, 𝙒𝙤𝙀𝙧𝙯, a stylist, storyteller, and unapologetic multi-hyphenate. And this channel is where I show you how you can create a life that you love, boldly, intentionally, and without permission. Today's video is called Permission to Pivot, and I just want to start with a simple truth. You don't need a crisis to pivot. You don't need permission, but sometimes we do wait for life to happen before we move. And trust me, when I say this year, I mean, I am a queen of pivoting, but this year especially, this year has been a lesson in pivoting and the patience that comes with being flexible to life being life in, and having the freedom and having the permission to yourself to be able to pivot when life doesn't go exactly how you hoped, planned, or intended. At 44, one of the things that I've become very, very good at is learning when something doesn't work for me anymore. Whether that's a job, whether that's a relationship, whatever it is, if it's not sparking joy for me, if it's not making me happy, if it's giving me anxieties, if it's giving me stress, I make a decision to pivot. So before I go into kind of like some of the pivots that I've done personally and professionally, I kind of want to talk to you about what is a pivot actually. So for me, when I think about pivoting is update. Pivoting is looking at your life, taking stock of where you are in every moment and deciding, what do I want to do next? And actually the goal is the destination. I was speaking to somebody at social class yesterday, the social dance class yesterday, and I was saying to her, when I look at life, I look at everything I want to do, every goal that I have as a destination. So I'm on a soft sabbatical. That is my destination. But along the way, the journey to get to the sabbatical has not been the smoothest. It's not been the easiest. But as long as I'm on track to get into where I want to go to, that's a pivot. So a pivot is also a recalibration. So sometimes you just have to take stock of everything that you have around you to recalibrate to where you want to get to. And it's a quiet decision as well, I feel, that you have to take within yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. You have to make a decision that you want to move from where you are to where you want to go to. So that can involve changing careers. It can involve changing your lifestyle through clothes. So I have clients that I work with who they want their clothes to be an expression of who the person that they want to be next. So for example, that's the first question that I ask clients when I'm working with them. I always ask the question, who is the person that you want to be? Like when you walk into the room and you introduce yourself as a CEO, as a chef, as a baker, as whatever it is that you want to represent yourself, that's the clothes, that's the story that we'll tell through the clothes. Pivot also looks like choosing joy in a season of grief. So I am going through an extreme season of grief, and instead of sitting at home and being sad and being depressed and just crying all the time because my heart is so broken about losing my mom, I've decided to choose joy. I've decided to let go of what no longer serves me. So for me, a pivot is clarity. It's not a collapse. It's clarity in the person that I am and the person that I'm trying to be. But more specifically, I'm giving myself and I'm giving others the permission to pivot by living my life so boldly and so intentionally and without permission. But I understand, as a social worker, I know that sometimes it's easier said than done. So sometimes we get attached to a title, we get attached to what feels comfortable, we get attached to what is quote unquote normal or what is seen as normal by other people. And so, for example, somebody might be like, hey, you just lost your mom, but you're out dancing. I'm like, yeah. My mom was dancing 2 weeks before she passed away. My mom loved dancing. In fact, I inherited my love of dancing and my love of traveling from my mom. So I know my mom is happy and so full of joy to see me taking forward that love that she's given to me. So that, my pivot, and like I said, it's about, you have to let go of what other people think. And that's why I always come back to the phrase, living your life without permission, living your life off the menu, which I take to mean that whenever I go to a restaurant and they have something, they don't have the thing that I want, or I think, oh, I like this, but I also like that, I always order off the menu. I always ask, and most times, 9 out of 10 times, I usually get what I want. I mean, I have become very, very good at pivoting, and I think I developed this from a young age when I became very resilient because so many things happened to me as a child, and things specifically around my mom's immigration status in the UK, and also other personal life issues that I've experienced. And through the work that I've done also as a social worker, one of the skills that we learned in social work is to be reflective. So I journal a lot, and I'm always reflecting, and I'm always I've done lots of personal development work through books, through podcasts, through listening to other people's stories. And that's given me permission to see and dream of bigger things. And even that, if nobody else understands, nobody in my circle, nobody in my family understands the move that I make, I just choose to go for it anyways. So more recently, losing my mom has been such a glaring reminder that life is unbearably short. Like, life, you can literally die at any given moment. Like, so what's the worst that can happen? Like, I made a decision when I was about 18 that I was going to live my life with no regrets. Any decision that I make, whether it works out or it doesn't work out, I'm going to own that decision. So if I make a decision to leave my full-time good job where I was making good money as a social worker to be on a sabbatical where I have no income, I don't have any foreseeable income in the future. Well, I do have some foreseeable income in the future, but in this present moment, I don't have income. The savings that I had is no longer where it was because I had to go bury my mom very, very quickly. I almost got swindled by the person that I was going to sublet my apartment to. So that left me in a very, very not dire financial state, but it left me not in a great place financially. But instead of saying to myself, instead of letting all of that hold me in fear and staying back, I decided that I'm just going to go to Lagos. I'm going to go on my sabbatical, and I'm going to trust that the universe will make a way for me, and I'm going to manifest the money that I need, the people that I need to me that are going to help me get to where I want to get to, even if that means starting to think about more intentional in seeking brand partnerships to help me get to where I want to get to. So that's one of the ways that I am giving myself permission to pivot, even in the times of uncertainty. So practically, when you're thinking about pivoting, whether it's changing careers, a relationship that no longer serves you, or physically moving yourself from one geographical place to another like I've did, you have to ask yourself these questions. What no longer fits? Who is it, the person that you want to become? And what do you want more of? What is the thing that you're afraid to admit to yourself? Even this is journal prompts. What is the small change you can make today? I always start with trust the process, but take that first initial step. So if you are thinking about, for example, when I was thinking about moving, I just had the thought I wanted to leave the UK. I didn't know where I was going to go to, but that thought kept feeding me opportunities to start thinking about how I was going to leave the UK and what I was going to do and how I was going to move to the next place. So you don't have to start big. You can start by maybe changing your routine. So maybe waking earlier in the morning, having a meditation session, going for a walk. You can start by learning something new. So whether it's a new hobby, something like dancing, or whether it's crocheting, anything that is new that will give you more joy and more life. You can start by saying no, finding a new community, but you just have to give yourself that space. So you really have to allow yourself the permission to pivot. So I think I've spoken enough for this episode. I hope that I get to a stage where I get better at editing and adding some of the things that I'm doing during my year of freedom and my 40 more life into some of these videos. But yeah, so today is just about free flowing. And like I said, it was actually my friend Jennifer that gave me the idea to do this video on permission to pivot. So let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what more topics you would like me to touch upon, how else you want me to show you guys what 40 more life looks like. Like I said, this is a community that I'm really open to build, and I want it to be not just about my life, but I really want to invite you and other people in the community. So let me know, what is the one pivot that you're thinking about doing, and is there a way that if myself or other people in the community can help you to becoming more in your life?